Hi, welcome to Kelliot. In this week's episode, we're talking about your favorite... Hi, welcome to Kelliot. In this week's episode, we're talking about all of our favorite corporate boring fonts that make you want to blow your brains out, and we rank them and see which one we think is the most corporate. Keep watching and see which one we decide is the best or maybe the worst. Goodbye.
And me, I don't think I shaved once in all of high school. I just had a perpetual beard the entire time. I was like, damn, that's crazy, man. I'm like, that couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Beards are a funny thing.
They are. Tell you what else is a funny thing. Corporate sans-serif fonts. Heard of them, Kel?
Guys, welcome back to Elliot.
Woo!
We haven't done that in a while.
No.
There's a hole in my pants.
What?
Guys,
I was going to say something.
the vibes are weird today.
1 week without Ritalin?
I feel like Elliot's been without Ritalin for a week. I feel like I've lived 2,000 lives in the past week. This week will not end. I'm in purgatory. So today we're doing a bracket, if you will.
Yeah.
Heard of her.
We decided to do
You may have seen
the most brain-numbing thing imaginable, which is comparing specifically like a font brackets. Regular font brackets take so much energy. Deciding what is best, whatever. You know what won't take energy at all? Comparing 16 corporate sans-serif typefaces that are almost indistinguishable from each other and trying to decide which one of these is the best. What is the criteria? The most?
This might be our, like, unironically, our most, like, deranged. Like, this is, like, peak brain rot to be splitting hairs at this level.
Yeah. I'm looking at the bracket right now. We are splitting hairs.
Yeah.
We are splitting hairs. In fact, I honestly think by adding, because you'll see it soon, everyone, but I've added some color to the background of some of the fonts. I think that is going to give too much bias. I'm just going to be like, oh, Gotham's got a yellow background. It looks good on the yellow background.
That looks nice.
That wins. Get that to the grand final. Rather than just like they're too plain just to look at with it. Like it's so... Yeah. I didn't even use bold. You know, this is regular. This is book weight. We're using book weight out here. So it's exciting. I put this together. I put this together a few days ago because I put so much effort to this thing. I definitely didn't put this together in the last half hour,
right?
Because I was working on my YouTube video, which will have come out by the time, I think, as long as the copyright claim gets cleared on the song the licensed song that's in there that I'm licensing.
That super smooth, easy, seamless process.
Oh, yes.
Applying for the copyright thing with YouTube.
Definitely.
It's very fast and easy.
Be fine. And they say do not remix the song. And also they also say don't make sure it's not aligned with any kind of political thing. And one of the logos in the 1,000 logos is ACAB. And I do fear that they would... I don't know how you could see it because it's so hidden. But if they pull me up on that, and that's why I can't use this song... That would be
nuts.
And I have to pixelate that or like anything else because there's like, you know, one of them is Wonka's Willy, not Willy Wonka, right? Shit like that I aren't necessarily featured, but they do exist in the video. And if you look hard enough, you can find them. There's potential for a copyright claim on, or rather not, I mean, hopefully not copyright, but potential for demonetization. And that's what I'm most scared of after a year of working on this fucking video.
Magnum opus, if you will.
Magnum opus, just like this episode of Kelly.
Yeah.
So I have a bracket here for everyone. Let's cut to the bracket. Let's have a look at this, everyone. Here's the reveal. This is what we're working with today. Okay?
Guys, if you're having a tough time falling asleep, this is the episode for you.
But this is the equivalent of white noise. This is...
If you have this on in the background at work, I'm sorry.
If you have this, if you're at a bar, ask the bartender to put it on the TV.
Yeah.
This is great fodder.
It'll really turn the place up.
Yeah. So, Kel, I haven't talked to you through this, but what we've got here, I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit of a pattern. Can you tell what the pattern is? All right. So on the left, we have accessible fonts that you can download. That anyone.
Wait, is this the pattern?
This is the left is one genre, the right is one genre.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the pairings.
No.
I was like,
that was purely based on. Well, there was a little bit of thought behind that, just alternating colors.
I was like, Facebook in San Francisco, that makes sense. Yeah. But then I was like, Google and Spotify.
No,
I'm not
it should have
sure.
been. You know what? It should have been Google and YouTube. I should have paired that. Maybe they'll win. Maybe they'll match up later. Who knows? Netflix and Adobe. What a pairing. So on the left, we have fonts that you can download and use for your own company. So this is the most common fonts from Google Fonts, Adobe Fonts, the Figma default fonts, Canva default fonts. We've got a lot of stuff here, and they all look as very, very similar. But these are the classics, I would say. I didn't include. Yes. I will say I didn't include like Din, Oswald, because they were too tall. So I tried to keep them as square as possible, each character, right? We wanted to keep it very sans-serif. Montserrat is even getting a bit too wide for my liking, but
I know, and Robato's getting you're fringing into a little
that's as far as I'll go. Okay, that is and that will be considered in the rankings, everyone. And then on the right we have bespoke sans-serifs from the leading tech, and I guess they're all tech companies actually in the world. America, and they are all bespoke. So they've been made. Reading the definition on some of these, or the description on some of these fonts as well, is hilarious. Like the way that it's like this font happened, and then it was turned into this font, and then we were inspired by both, and we made this font that is 1% different to those fonts, and now it's our own, and we don't have to pay a license anymore because we have our own font. Which I imagine is one of the main reasons for doing this. So you don't have to pay a license when you have your own.
Yeah, I think it's literally cheaper to develop your own typeface than to license it at a scale this major.
And when they all look the same, I feel like it's actually pretty easy to make one these days, because like I was reading I couldn't find PayPal Pro is the PayPal font that Pentagram designed. And it's like literally that process of they took, I think, Futura, and then there was a font heavily inspired by Futura, and then this one is heavily inspired by the font that was heavily inspired by Futura, and they all look exactly the same. But just enough of a difference that you can claim it as your own. So these will be competing, going head-to-head on each side until we find out the ultimate winner of what is the best. And I think we go based on pure subjectivity, which one do we like the most as a standalone font. But also, I think these are made to be read. They are made to be used in normal, standard... Like, the purpose is to be read. It's not to grab attention. These aren't logo fonts. Some of them, the bolder weights are made out of logos. But, like, most of these are just... Which do you like to look at the most, as if you saw a body of text of it? So, it's going to be fun.
Riveting stuff today, guys.
Lock the fuck in for this one, everyone. I will make that very clear. This is if you're a graphic.
This is a lock-in type of video.
If you're a graphic designer, you should care. You should really care about it. I care. I care so much. I care that I had to screenshot some of these because I don't have the font like Google Sans and Facebook Sans, and they would not be image traced. So that's why some of them are the color that they are. And I will say that I have YouTube Sans and I have Adobe Clean, and I will not provide any answers as to where I got them from. But I have them. You can't find Spotify Mix anywhere though. That's actually my money's on Spotify Mix. That's a Dynamo font. It's pretty. I read the backing of it. It's pretty sick.
Nice.
So Kel, should we get right into it?
I think we should.
Let's do it.
I think we should.
That's enough context. All right. Well, we'll go.
This is
what the fuck are we doing?
So, okay.
Open. Let's start with the top left.
Yeah, let's do it.
I wish I had. I should have had a sound effect board for this. So I could go there. Dun, 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 dun.
You could be the sound effect board.
Round one. Dun, 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 dun. Open sans versus work sans.
What are we doing, man?
Oh God. Has it gotten this bad? What are we doing? 36 episodes in? Is this what we're doing?
Like doing like this episode in particular after like both of us are kind of like, I feel like I stuck a fork into an outlet because that's kind of like the state of like where my brain is.
Because it's shocking you into being alert and like and excited. It's a shock way after the scent, you know.
Definitely.
It's inspiring.
Okay, so I know which one I like better. Do I know exactly what I like about it and why? Not necessarily, no. But I feel like I decide if I like a typeface in a fraction of a second.
Right.
Like it's not something I usually have to ruminate on. I can pull fonts out of a list like lightning speed. So, I'm just going to go and say I like work sans better.
I agree. I think I completely agree. So Open Sans, I think Open Sans is more Calibri. It's more Myriad Pro, I think. It's not like... It's the older
feels
style.
Default.
Yeah, like it feels very default. And I think Work Sans is leaning more towards the future of sans-serif fonts, especially corporate sans-serif fonts, where I think the word would be, it's a bit more grotesque, right?
Yeah, I think that's
German.
A very fair point.
In like the A, for example. And this is a very small, like I was planning on getting a full alphabet of these things, a full lorem ipsum to compare. And then I said, fuck it, we're going to compare just from the name, which is...
That's
so
really
much,
tough.
So much worse.
Definitely tough. Also with a wider kerning too.
That's just default kerning, actually. So you can blame
makes my eyes sad.
Yeah, this really wide for zero and metrics.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
You could land a plane between that W and the O.
Yeah, it's
why is the weight of the W is so light?
Yeah,
compared to the
a bit,
S,
isn't it? Let me zoom in on that.
Why does the...
Look at that. Yeah, that is significantly... That's like about 2/3 of the size.
Why is sans slightly thicker?
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
This is directly from Adobe Illustrator. I popped these. I made these little graphics. It took me 3 days to make these graphics.
Right, professional.
But yeah, I do think Work Sans will take the cake in this one. I'm pretty happy doing that.
I say let's do it.
Congratulations, Work Sans. Moving on to the quarterfinals. Should we go down the list, or would you like to mix it up a bit with a?
Oh boy. Maybe let's go back and forth.
Let's do that. That sounds fun.
Let's zigzag.
Okay. TikTok Sans versus YouTube Sans. TikTok Sans is a newish development to TikTok. I think this was released a year or two ago, about when everyone started doing this shit, right? YouTube Sans, on the other hand, I think has been around for a little bit longer, but their whole branding system is changing all the time. But the YouTube Sans has been around for a little bit. So that's...
I'm liking TikTok Sans. I like the leg on the A. I like that it's at a bit of an angle like that. The YouTube Sans feels like when you're looking at Adobe Clean, like before, like because Adobe Clean looks just like a modified font, like it looks like there was like a font and then somebody just like took out a couple of like the little, what's that called? Let me look at my chart. What's that thing called?
Chart mentioned.
What is that called? Is it? It's not the crotch, is it?
What did you say?
Maybe it is. Yeah, it is called the crotch.
The crotch.
Yeah.
Why
that's
are
what
we anthropomorphizing fonts like
beautiful.
this shit?
Yeah, I think that is what it's called. So it looks like if you, I mean, I don't actually know if that's what it's called.
The crutch, maybe?
I wish. It's not. Oh, joint. Maybe it's the joint.
We aren't too different from fonts when you really think about it.
Yeah, I too have an apex and a terminal.
And joints.
I mean, you do have a hairline, so
Yeah, it's receding. Desperately receding.
Don't you love getting old?
Yeah. Today and I went, fuck
So
me.
at my point being, YouTube Sans looks like Adobe Clean before you edited it. So I don't know. I like TikTok Sans. I like that it's taller. I don't like the T in YouTube. I don't like when it doesn't extend past the
yeah.
what's it called? I don't know what. Me looking at my chutzpah.
I know
anatomy
so
of the
little
typeface.
about typeface stuff, except what the dot of the I is the tittle, right? That one, because I prefer a circular tittle than a square one, which is why I like TikTok
Same.
Sans has that. And I think it's quite refreshing. And that's nice. TikTok Sans as well. This is TikTok Sans book. TikTok Sans display is the one that they use for their main logo. But it's a
Heavier.
bit more, it's definitely a bit heavier, but it's also just a bit more performative. And I think TikTok Sans is very like refined and
TikTok Sans feels very dynamo to me.
It really does. It really does. But I don't think it was. It was done by.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, some like.
It's the A.
It is the A, isn't it? Yeah. The A is real nice. YouTube Sans I had to work with YouTube Sans for a gig I did for YouTube last year. I had to make a poster exclusively using YouTube Sans, and it did drive me a bit insane because it doesn't do it. It's trying to be cooler than it is. Because YouTube is like, YouTube should be like TikTok Sans gets it. I feel for what TikTok is as well. Like we do, it's important to consider this.
YouTube still feels very like old timey Silicon Valley corporate. Like it still feels very like Facebook.
Yeah,
Versus TikTok feels more like a more modern approach to a tech company.
definitely.
If that makes sense.
I completely agree. I'm happy to call it.
It's the Adobe effect where it just feels like, oh, we're just a bunch of corporate shareholders now.
Yeah. TikTok Sans moving up.
Congratulations.
Next up, we have a battle of two of the greats. Some would say Montserrat and Poppins. Two of the widest, dare I say, sans serifs that we have on this list. The more words I speak, the more I'm slowly rocking myself to sleep when I'm talking about these fonts. And I feel ill. I'm already feeling sick just talking about these for this length of time. And we're not even halfway. What I think, I like Poppins. Once again, this is hard because Poppins, half of the word, just under half of the word is the letter P. So we're not seeing too much
We're not
variety.
working on too much, yeah.
But
We do have a circular tittle.
we do. We don't know if Montserrat has that because there is not an I in the name.
So I'm looking at the S here. I have always hated the Montserrat S
fuck that.
and A. I feel like I base so
yeah.
much of my opinion on an S and an A.
Yeah.
And that A and Montserrat, it's atrocious.
It is does the top of the A hang? No, it doesn't hang over but it kind of looks like it. It's just,
Why does it look like the, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. The middle bit of the A. Why does it look like it was kind of left in the sun?
It looks like it's got bad
And
posture. Like it's when the rest of it doesn't really
Left in the sun. Bad posture.
Look at the lowercase e. That's a pure perfect circle. That is like basically a perfect circle with a line cut through it. The A is just like, but the E is like, hello, hi,
Hey.
you know? The N is pretty gross as well. The T sucks. The little, like the way the T and the S connect is so gross. I don't like that at all. Yeah.
What? God, I wish so it's like I know what these things are called, but then like you hold a gun to my head and I'm like, I've never seen that in my life, actually. I don't know what that's called.
Me, when I was at a cooking class and asked to get the whisk in front of a class of 10 people and I completely forgot what a whisk was.
And what did you get?
I got the whisk in the end, but I did a double take and that was enough, I think, that's embarrassing enough.
That's pretty bad. I mean, to hesitate.
I use a fork
on something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Whisks are really annoying to store and hard to clean, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would say here, let's go. I'm leaning Poppins just because of the bullying that we just did to Montserrat.
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
Montserrat is such like a starter font.
Yeah. Montserrat doesn't offer much at all. I don't know why people still like it, honestly. I think
there are better staunch neutrals to pick from.
Yeah, 100%.
I would take a Gotham over Montserrat.
Well, Montserrat's in Gotham conversations in terms of like the greatest sans-serifs and stuff, and it's like not even close.
The only thing that's cool about Montserrat is the name.
Yeah, like who was that?
It's kind of
Montserrat. French. Montserrat. Next up we
sounds like a nice wine.
It does sound like Mont Blanc. Was it Mont Blanc?
Yeah, that's a champagne, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Maybe it comes from that. Something to think about in the comment section, everyone. If anyone wants to contribute.
Hey guys, feel free to correct us.
Yeah, please.
I know we both love that. Makes both of us feel good.
Yeah, someone said something about. Oh no, someone commented a very valid point. Which is when we do the designing episodes, they were like, they were like, I forget who is her, like whose screen is her, and my initial response was like, actually fuck off. Like I hate it because I was like, you don't know the time I put into this. You don't know the time I put into the layout. And then I went, Elliot, relax. It's completely valid.
Elliot, take a lap.
I was like, take a lap. I was like, stop getting personal. Why are you taking this personally? It's a completely reasonable take.
Some comments are like so harmless and they're just like, hey, this would be helpful for me. But like at the time, like I guess like sometimes like some comments are like so disappointed. Like they were truly like let down.
It's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
And then it like I will feel bad just because it's part of having ADHD. People forget people with ADHD are extraordinarily sensitive. And I definitely won't think about something for a really long time. But there are times where like there was a comment recently, I don't know if you saw it, about like my book video that was like upset about my face cam. Yeah, just even being in the video.
I feel those ones too because I put that together and I still feel like an idiot.
But no, the funny thing is that the way that like it was written, I was like, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about this. Yeah. It's already out in the world. It's already edited. Yeah.
It's like, thank you, but
and it's like,
fuck, yeah.
But in the comment just sounded so like just like let down.
It's hard.
And I was like, there's nothing I can do.
It was like I wish I could have. When it goes, damn, this video would have been even better if I could see that part that was covered by Kel's like, big head.
Like, I know, they're like, it wasn't even necessary. Like, you don't even need it. And I was like, damn.
No. It's like,
damn, it's just cut me out entirely. It's fine. There's
no handbook, guys. There's no handbook on this.
They don't know the context in which I had to come up with a video idea that very second.
Because I had COVID. Was that the week?
Because I had COVID. I had to come up with something in the blink of an eye. And then I had to reorganize my entire desk to set up my camera.
And I edited it with COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's, when you're putting together a collaborative YouTube channel experience like we are, like this is
Right.
things like this have
First
never
of its
been
kind.
done before, right? Never been done before. So we are making the handbook. No, but we love your comments, everyone. Please don't make. We just. I read the
Some
comments
of
at like
them-
1 a.m., which is the worst thing.
They make me laugh. They make me chuckle.
Yeah, you guys are
And I
funny.
enjoy them. Yes.
Did you
Please
see?
riff in our replies.
Did you see? Yeah. Did you see? I accidentally. I don't know if you saw this in the last episode. I'd much rather talk about this than talk about the fonts that we see on the page in front of me. I hope to get more and more distracted as this goes on.
Okay.
In the last episode, I left the outro, the intro, what preceded the intro in the video.
So that was such a golden clip too.
Yeah, oh, legit! It was like the way I was actually pretty. And someone mentioned like it's a perfect loop now. The video is a perfect.
It's
loop.
a perfect loop.
And I was like, that's actually so cool because we forget to do the intro, so we have to re-record because we record the intro after the video, which is you've now all realized that because we don't know what we're talking about until we do it.
Yeah.
And then we've remembered to do the intro this time, and that's what you witnessed.
And we remembered to do it just immediately after.
Yeah.
And it was mwah.
It was pretty
so
awesome.
perfect.
Pretty awesome.
It was so perfect.
So San Francisco is
So who's San Francisco?
this is Apple's font.
Oh.
San Francisco, or in shorthand, it's SF Pro. SF standing for San Francisco, if anyone is wondering. And the reason it looks kind of shit because it's this is the only evidence I could find of it online. It's like
it looks kind of shit.
It looks pixelated because this is a screenshot because there's not like a lot of these corporate ones. They don't like they don't openly show the whole alphabet. You know, they're trying to hide it from being pirated and stuff, I guess. So it's kind of hard to find just like every weight and everything. But that's as close as we could get to it. That little San Francisco there. But if you know Apple, you know the idea. Like it's pretty close to Helvetica.
I was going to say, this is really giving Helvetica. I wish the tittle were a little wider.
Yeah. And that could just be a compression issue, but a JPEG artifact.
Well, it's like typically it might extend a little bit past the width of the eye.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
little
I mean, it
higher
probably
as well.
does like just a hair, but I feel like that could have pushed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I personally like a 2-story A. I don't like a 1-story A.
And what are we talking about when we say 2-story and 1-story? Is that Facebook Sans' 1-story?
So the A that's in Facebook Sans,
That's a 1-story A.
1-story A
I
versus...
see.
Yeah.
One has a hook, and that's the 2-story.
Yes, one has a fun little hat for a little pop of blue in your hair for the Teen Vogue party. I like that more.
Yeah, me too.
I think it looks more like an adult typeface versus I think like the other A, the single story A, looks like Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah. One is adult, the other is Goo Goo Gaga. Astute,
You know?
astute. Yeah.
I would categorize this as a Goo Goo Gaga
I back it.
typeface.
Yeah, Facebook Sans
So-
is weird. It's because the whole Facebook rebrand was bizarre. They went from what I thought was a nice compressed font to that like spread out weird one, and then Meta took on that more like traditional corporate style with just a bold sans-serif font as the logo, and the Facebook logo kind of just got forgotten about. Like we gloss over that time in history where Facebook rebranded to like all caps spread out sans serif. Like what the fuck was that? And this doesn't do much for me at all. I agree with the A. I think if you put that A next to the San Francisco A and you knew nothing about this alphabet, you would think they were two different characters, which I think is just an interesting statement on fonts in general and how we see things. And I just wanted to include that in my observations. And I prefer San Francisco by a long shot.
Yeah, me
Apple
too.
just get it. They get it.
They get it.
I think they used to use Helvetica. And now they use San Francisco, I
I'm
think.
curious
But
to see what they...
I didn't do too much research. And that's because, of course, the headquarters is in San... No, it's not even in San... Oh, it's north of San Francisco. It's in Cupertino. You ever been to Cupertino?
Cupertino? Girl, I am from Northern California.
That's where that is?
Yeah, it's all the Bay Area.
In my show...
No, Cupertino is like very... That's like capital S Silicon Valley.
Yeah. I have a joke in my show about how I did a gap year in LA. I spent a year gigging in LA and I lived in Cupertino, meaning every day I had to travel 5 hours to LA by Greyhound bus to do my shows.
That's funny as hell. I was like, Cupertino is not...
Purely because I look like Steve Jobs. So no one really gets it,
right.
but it's like it is a nod to the Apple headquarters. Like that's kind of
funny.
That's kind of a nod. It's a deep lore. Guys, get your tickets to my show. They're nearly all gone for Melbourne. Heads up. That's not really true, but they will. I think they will sell out.
Guys, go because I can't.
Yeah,
I wanted to go, and then I looked at how long it took to get there, and I said, "Oh dear God."
It's a real around the world journey. Yet I'm making the journey to Portland later this year. Interesting.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. That's, you know, some of us are better than others, and I was trying to also take into consideration what you said about never fly to that side of the world without doing at least business class, and I was deeply worried about not being somewhat comfortable for at least a portion of that journey, and I fear I would have to beg someone to fly me to Australia, because the thought of me knowing like my general experience on planes of either almost shitting my pants or getting middle seat back row with the plane falling apart and then there possibly being also a bomb on the plane, like just my general curse of being on planes, was nervous to take the risk. So
that's so fair. And I do want to clarify that when I said the business class thing, I didn't mean everyone to pay for it yourself. I'm not suggesting that we
get other people to pay for it.
That's the thing.
Get other people to pay for it.
Canva will fly us. You know, that's if we line up at if you can line up an event, then you go to that, and then you do a week. You know, like we wouldn't.
Then it's a lot more.
I can't fucking afford business class. That'd be crazy.
Exactly.
Maybe with points. Nah.
Yeah.
Because points that I get from clients flying me, and I just say, attach my frequent flyer number.
Actually, that's really smart.
It's a huge hack. It's amazing. But especially if they fly you, it was when Minecraft flew me to London business class, the points that I got from that.
When Minecraft flew me to London.
When Minecraft flew me to London, which is a line that is mentioned in the new YouTube video for some reason. I gained so many points. It pays for itself. The future flights pay for it. I see now why people fly business, because they've been flown by so many companies on business, and then they just have so many points. It's a hack.
I've never not flown coach anywhere. I've never even been in business class. Everybody's like, "Oh, I got upgraded to first class." No, they'd be like, "Actually, ma'am, you need to sit in the rear bathroom because we hate you." And I'd be like, "Yeah, obviously that would happen to me. That would be
if
me."
Someone came up to you and was like, you sit down and the person next to you goes, "Hey, my wife is sitting 5 rows up ahead.
I'm already up.
Do you want to swap? You're right.
I'm already up.
I hate this. I think I'm it.
I'd be like, "Do you want all the money in my wallet?" To like, do you want to like kick me in the shin? That's fine.
Yeah. Like, I just wanted to mention it. I didn't ask you to swap. I'll figure that out.
Oh, one time, I don't know where I was going. And I was flying with my family, with my parents, and because my parents live on the West Coast versus my younger sister lives on the East Coast, so when we get the whole family together, it's kind of like a whole rendezvous. So I end up usually linking up with my parents somewhere, either in Sacramento or like in Denver, and then we go from there. And so one of the times I was linking up with my parents, and my mom, for whatever reason, was starting to have one of her meltdowns and getting really irritated. And I don't know exactly what the context was, but there was someone else who was like, they wanted to move seats, and then it was the thing with my mom, and my mom didn't want to sit in the middle. And I was trying to like mediate between them, and then I was like, I'll just sit in the middle. And then my mom was like, no. I was like, no, Mom, you go sit over there. You're going to go sit over there. And then this woman next to me, she was like, wow, good for you. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I want everyone everyone sit down and shut up for the love of God.
Especially on a plane as well. Can't do it.
Oh my God.
God, it's freaky.
So
stuff.
I usually end up volunteering to sit in the middle because I hate conflict so much.
Wow.
And also like I'm small. So I don't mind sitting in the middle if it means that like someone who is taller or bigger like will have a little bit more room. I don't mind. Genuinely.
Last time I sat in the middle, I got kicked by a baby every hour as I was trying to get to sleep on a 12-hour flight. I thought we made it. The baby and I made a connection. I was like, we were playing peekaboo and stuff. It was awesome. Then he starts kicking me.
That rules.
It was so cool.
After all that.
I was so tired on that flight. And that the dad who was holding the kid was a legend though. That lovely guy. He got up and walked off and so the baby would stop kicking me. And I was like, that's really nice of you. Because I don't get to sleep on planes anyway.
Sorry, my kid won't stop kicking.
I might get to sleep now with my new silk eye mask, everyone. I don't know if you saw this. I showed Kel this before, and they loved it. Kel loved it. Kel was like, where do I get this from, Elliot? That's awesome. An Aquarius silk eye mask. This is not a sponsored thing. I don't fully shut my eyes when I go to sleep, so now I need to wear an eye mask. And I woke up today feeling like $1 million. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I just wanted to show how cool that was. However, that being said, and this is the last thing I'll say about this silk eye mask, Kel, is that it came in this little box. Okay? Little box.
What a cute little
When
box.
you see a box like this, I mean, it's 1 second. If you see if a box comes to you like this, you think you think you would push out like that, right? Like it's a slide out. Like it looks like you would slide it out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Right?
You pull it open like a, yeah. Oh.
What the hell?
Is that Velcro?
It's like, no, it's like tape that's like falling off. I thought this was like a protective case and it was magnetic, but it's like, what is that? Anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty cool box there. Shout out to Slip. Not sponsored. We need to reply to that email.
I know.
A little insider knowledge, everyone. We need a manager. We have one.
There's an email neither one of us have like
acknowledged even.
We both know it's there.
Yeah, we know we have to do something,
and we're just like,
like not right now. Not right now. We'll get to it.
Even though we both want it.
Yeah,
and that's the funny thing. I love having ADHD.
Yeah,
like I was on a call the other day with one of my clients, and he goes, "Do you have ADHD?" And I was like, "Fuck."
Oh my God, they can tell on a call.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They know. I don't know my secrets.
I'd be like, do you? Because if you
yeah,
have
well,
the ear
I was
for
like,
it, then yeah.
I was like, is it obvious? And he was like, oh, no, I have it too. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I've had people ask if I have ADHD and they don't, and I'm like,
yeah, that's weird. That's what. It's like,
shut up,
because you can't stop bouncing around.
Well, and
shut
like,
the fuck up.
I'm like, just call me a slur at this point.
Yeah.
If you're going, do you have ADHD? Do you want to see an unregistered firearm? Because I'm coming to your house with one.
Yeah.
So
they don't get it. It's so Inter is the default Figma font, I believe.
Oh,
that might be incorrect. Let me try typing something.
Diva.
I think.
Figma's merch is kind of cute.
It is, right? Very good stuff. I think Inter is either a Figma default Figma font, or it was like started in like it has something to do with Figma. I'm pretty sure, but it has become a pretty standard thing, I think, for tech companies because it has a little bit of a code element to it, like a little bit of a mono code kind of style.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
it's like it feels like a monospace, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it feels like it could be.
For sure.
I like it.
Yeah, Roboto I think is a similar font in that it also has a mono. I mean, Roboto has a mono version. I believe there is Roboto mono.
Yeah, there is.
But it leans, I think, more towards like the edges are a bit more rounded. It's a bit more sans-serif, I guess, in that classic sense. Whereas I do think Inter is, dare I say, a brutalist take on the sans-serif in the slightest way. But still, there is something that feels brutalist about it. And I think that's really awesome.
It feels more code-esque.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like did you ever learn how to code?
Here and there on my own.
Okay. Because it feels like if I like open Sublime, like Enter could be like a default font that you could add and code in.
I imagine it like it feels like if there was a variable font that went between a sans-serif and a code font, monocant, then it would be in between there.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I reckon.
I'm on board with that.
Let's move into.
Also, I'm kind of in like a bit of a purple era right now, so like that.
I'm happy with the colors that I chose for it, right? Isn't it nice?
Violet is like kind of gorge.
Yeah.
Versus like that green.
I know. I was like robot tech green.
It's the Spotify green.
Yeah.
And I hate the Spotify green. I hate Spotify's logo in general.
Well, then you're gonna love the next font we got to talk about because it's Google Sans versus Spotify.
It's a perfect segue.
Mix. I thought Segway had the letters way in it for so long, like the word.
No, Segway is spelled
like Sieg.
Sieg.
A very recent development in my mind. I spent 23 years of this world saying archive.
Elliot, no.
I spent 23 years in this world saying archive. I'm dead serious. Archivist.
If it makes you feel any better, in 3rd grade, I was reading out loud, which is not a strong suit of mine because I am a dyslexic.
The nightmare of
and
dyslexic
I didn't
children.
know that I was dyslexic. Yeah. And I said, actually, it happened 2 separate times, but with 2 different words, a couple years apart. 3rd grade, reading out loud, I said, instead of determined, I said determined. And then in 8th grade, I said Satan instead of satin.
Whoa.
In science class, which evoked a very funny response from the classroom.
That's good, yeah.
Because that was funny, but me saying determined instead of determined did not evoke the same reaction.
Determined.
And I still wasn't evaluated for any sort of learning disability. LOL.
I wonder if you said, so I'm just thinking, determined becoming determined, data mind becoming datament. You know, that's the inverse, right?
Yeah.
Wordplay.
It makes perfect sense, you know?
Oh yeah, the English language is awfully confusing. Knowing a few dyslexic people, the primary school reading out loud thing is
nightmare.
I wonder there would have been. I never picked it up because I guess I was too young. But it would have been. Yeah, there would have been so many kids. It was fucked. I remember one kid in my primary school told me. That's right. The first time I ever heard of dyslexia was there was a kid in my year. I think I was probably in year 4, so when I was like 9 or 10. And he was like telling me how he sees the words. And he was like, I remember this vividly. He goes, he'll look at a book, like a page of a book, and the letters will turn into the left and right banks of a river. And there will be in the middle, the words will start floating down the river. And that's what happens when he looks at a page.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, that's incredible, but that's also like that's
Nightmare.
brutal. That's like you said every page the words go down a river. And I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck, man.
I think for me it's like the second half of the word. Particularly like for like the word Spotify.
Yeah.
The IFY, those would shift up to the beginning of the word.
Yeah, right.
Or they'll move to like the middle of the word because my I will read the first letter and then it'll shoot to the end. And then like in that passing over the other letters, my brain goes,
Yeah.
And so it's really difficult. And I wish I had figured it out sooner because I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until I was diagnosed with ADHD. And I was like, oh, this whole time I thought I was just fucking stupid. And I just can't read good.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it was like a common comorbidity because like I can like read to myself fine, But when it comes to reading out loud, it's like the verbal connection where my brain goes a lot faster than the way in which my mouth can catch up to what it's supposed to do. And I also grew up with a speech impediment, so I had to relearn how to talk and say things, and I was in speech therapy, and I think that also made it worse for me to read out loud. So I hate reading things out loud still to this day. It's a nightmare for me, and I stumble all the time, and I'm like, people probably think I can't read.
Yeah, because you'd hope it'd be like widespread enough, like it's common enough now that if someone, but I mean, honestly, the literacy rates in America aren't that high, are they? So someone genuinely might not be able to read.
Not.
Damn.
Well, they're certainly getting worse.
It's certainly getting worse.
Okay.
It's actually surprisingly
21% struggle with basic literacy skills.
Yeah.
A significant portion, 54%, reads below 6th grade level.
Australia, it's like
child
40%
left
or
behind.
Like, yeah, it's wild, eh?
Wow. I mean, there's like a lot of like adults that are like, you know, my parents' age who didn't finish.
Yeah. I was coming to drop out.
Even like middle school or high school.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of nuts.
I'm just out of touch, but I'm always like, whoa.
A child left behind.
Yeah. Such a sad way of putting it, isn't it? Child left behind. You're like, fuck.
Literally. So that's why I hate reading out loud.
So Google Sans is the body text of their logo font, the new logo font, I believe. And Spotify Mix is the new Spotify font that they've just launched. They launched it just in time for the 2024 Wrapped campaign that they did, which I was not gonna lie, Spotify Mix kind of fucks it. I think it can look like Gill Sans condensed a lot, especially on the new Daylist font. You go into your Daylist in Spotify, that new condensed font reminds me of Gill Sans so much that I genuinely thought it was Gill Sans when they used it in the Wrapped thing. And I was like, what the hell? Because if you know Gill Sans, no one really uses it anymore.
Okay, speak for yourself. Some of us know how to use Gill Sans.
Every time I use Gill Sans, all I'm told is that Eric Gill was the worst guy. Don't use it because of the Gill guy. And I'm like, all right, I won't use it.
I'm like, guys, here's the thing.
Do we separate the font from the...
He's dead. Yeah. I don't give a heck. Okay. If you want to have something similar to like whatever the heaviest weight of Gill Sans is, because that's really the only one that's worth using.
That's true.
The light versions or like the book weight are really ugly. But if you want like a similar one that's like really heavy, Arbitec. That is your friend. I love Arbitec. Fills like a similar void where it's just like a bunch of shapes.
Yeah.
As letters.
Which is what I like about Gill Sans.
Many such cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
this P.
It's weird, isn't it, with the little point going on there?
It looks like a mistake.
The T as well with the filled in top as well. It's interesting because I don't like it, but then I was reading about Dynamo's justification for it, and it's a mix of just it's like 3 genres of fonts that they've combined, and each character has different aspects of those genres. It's a mix of a sans-serif, a grotesque font, and I don't know what the third one is, but I think it's just serifs. I'm gonna do some research, but I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, that actually that's kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
This is one of those instances where knowing Dynamo is behind this, I'm just not advanced enough.
Yeah.
They're functioning on a wavelength I haven't arrived at yet, so I can't hate it.
Yep. Here we go. There's a diagram here of them justifying the P, and
please, so I need a good explanation.
I'm gonna pull this up here on the screen share because this is actually kind of sick. Sorry guys, I use Microsoft Edge for this because it uses less RAM. The Microsoft Edge homepage is
Edging in
full
Microsoft?
stuff.
That's crazy.
What do we do? It's 2025. We're edging in Microsoft. This is it here, if you can see on everyone watching from home. But to illustrate it for you, Kel, the little gap in the P there, the point is like a speaker, and it's like suggesting audio waves are coming out from the point, which I do think is
What?
It's the the almond-shaped counter found in letters like P, D, and G subtly allude to the transmission and expansion of audio waves. I think we're being a bit. I do think this is.
Okay.
People do hate graphic designers for shit like this, but I do. Like what kind?
Sometimes the hate is just
Half of my brain is like awesome. I love the little details. The other half is like, what are we doing? And they're conflicting. They're fighting each other. But I love attention to detail.
Same. Yeah.
I think I don't want to know the justification
T more
about
than the P.
Yeah, the T is bizarre. I'm sure there's a reason for it as well. But they said it's a combination of geometric, humanist, and grotesque typefaces. That's what they're doing here. So it's a lot. It is a lot for Spotify.
Okay. And given how bad their UX UI is, they're putting their efforts
fix
in weird
that.
places.
Great YouTube video about fixing the Spotify UI, and it makes so much sense.
Oh, I have that in my watch later.
Add tabs to Spotify where you can have different albums in tabs. Makes so much sense. Just add tabs. Chrome.
I'll be like clicking around in Spotify, and then I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
How do I get back home?
It's bizarre that there is a home on Spotify because it's hidden next to the search. It's just a symbol of home. Yet everything else has
and then you
word
can
for
like
it.
open and collapse it, and then I forget that I've collapsed it, and then I'm like, was there an update that I just missed?
It's bizarre for a music playing service. I am personally leaning towards Google Sans. I think it's pretty nice.
I have to agree here. The Spotify one, I think, just looks like in a weird way because my brain hasn't evolved to the point of understanding its genius. It looks like something that was image traced.
Yeah. With
like parts of it got a little like distorted.
Yeah.
In the translation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not evolved yet.
No, it's hard because I mean, obviously we are judging it off the name of the font in the desired font, which is not an accurate way of doing it. So there are use cases like the bolder weights of it go crazy. Not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of these look better as heavier weights.
Oh, yeah. But we are considering them as book weights right now.
Books, arguably the most difficult weight.
Yo,
not a weight that I use too often.
This is awful criteria for what it is. This is incredibly disrespectful to these designers. Yet it must be done.
The
everyone.
most annoying people are screaming at us right now.
But it must be done. It must be done. I think Google Sans takes it.
Let's do Google Sans.
Oh, I keep moving
or you can move the whole chart.
Whole chart.
That's also okay.
I keep thinking I've locked it, everyone. There we go. Google Sans, get up there. All right. Next we have Proxima Nova and Gotham. Proxima Nova was a font that I used religiously, randomly back in the day when I think I was like, why don't my sans-serif fonts look good? And then I downloaded Proxima Nova thinking, I thought it was Gotham. And
interesting.
In bold, it just looks like nice. Like Gotham, it just looks nice. Like as a good header. Looks nice.
I love Proxima Nova.
Yeah.
I think it's just like such a good, like it's interesting enough, but it's not like overbearing.
Yeah. For sure.
Gotham underwhelms me slightly, but I think it's just because it reminds me of like early design days for me where I was starting to feel out more interesting type, and then like you move on to a Proxima Nova type of thing where they're similar, but I feel like Proxima Nova is slightly more evolved than Gotham.
Yeah, I back it. I think Gotham Gotham Black, that white is nice. Like it leans almost towards Futura, which was also a consideration for this, but I figured it would just win due to its legacy.
It would.
Gotham looks like really nice, the bolder you get with it. But I do agree, I think Proxima Nova is just like Gotham's a tiny, like the M on the Gotham. If you compare the M on the Gotham to the M on the Proxima, they're doing a similar thing, but it's just like a little bit more condensed and a little bit more
I like the
square,
attitude
which is
of
nice.
The M in the Proxima Nova, though.
They're kind of like two
I like
little
that it's
eyebrows,
kind of
right?
like a...
Yeah.
It's got like a...
There is something about it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of sexy.
The way they shrink near
I like the A.
lines of it, yeah. Yeah, the A is good.
Yeah.
I prefer the A over
the X is really good. X's are hard.
Yeah, I've heard
X's are really hard.
Because isn't it like if you were to zoom in on... I mean, is that X... It'd be like a little bit off center, the cross, where they actually cross. Like a little bit above center, they cross, right? No one ever does a perfect...
I think so.
Like if you rotated it would look weird. Yeah.
Depending on... Yeah, I think the top is smaller. Depending on the typeface too, like some legs are different weights, but it'll be like ever so slight.
Yeah.
Then I find that really interesting.
And I think sometimes they won't align. You deliberately don't align the legs correctly or something because it's an illusion. It's like you make the O a little bit below the baseline. Yeah, there's little optical illusions.
That's your overshoot.
Oh, overshoot. These are basketball terms now. Now we're just talking basketball.
Yeah, that A is divine.
I think Proxima Nova wins it.
I think I have to agree with you.
Moving on up. And finally,
oh my dear
two
God.
heavyweights, Netflix Sans and Adobe Clean. And I will begin this by saying Adobe Clean could be one of the worst fonts I've ever seen in my life.
I hate Adobe Clean so much. Like it's the worst font on this entire list. And it's like not even close.
It's
Myriad Pro's
it's ridiculous how bad it is.
Ugly cousin.
100%. It doesn't.
I
look
just
good.
hate how it feels tech bro.
Yeah. I can't believe
that the D and the B.
Like this is the thing that still pisses me off about Adobe and how they market themselves and their brand identity and everything. Where it should be so forward in the design scene. Like it's you literally make the stuff that the designers use to make forward thinking moves. And yet it feels so far behind. All of the branding at Adobe Max, all of the branding on the website is so like go into like Quark Express, everyone. That's an example of that reminds me of Adobe because it's just so like it looks like a print store almost. Like an old print store that hasn't updated its website since 2010. Like I just don't when you put it in bold, it looks like it's the same thing as putting Calibri in bold. It doesn't add anything. It's just bolder. There's no like good heading. Like it's just There's
no like it's stylized in a way that is just not like it'll never be interesting.
No.
Like it'll never. I don't know. I think a good judge of this too is like, can this actually be like a typeface, or does it really just work because it's an adaptation of like the main logo? And I think that's the worst thing about Adobe Clean is that it is an adaptation of the logo.
Yeah.
And it really just...
Oh, yeah. That uppercase A and the lowercase a have nothing to do with each other. You know? Like, it's just... No. It's just frustrating.
That scoop bullshit at the bottom, like they really thought they were like, wait, what an interesting little thing to do. Yeah. What if we did it to all of the letters that it would make sense to do that on? And it's like, you did too much.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, like do it on a couple, but then it would be inconsistent. I don't know. It's like, it just looks dumb.
Yeah.
It looks like
it. I had to
you
use
just
it once.
deleted a couple of anchor points.
If anyone's ever worked with Adobe, any other fellow content creators out there, back in like 2021, I think I had to make a bunch of memes, like classic memes. And they said, can you design us some memes? And I said, like memes? And they were like, yeah, like with an image in the caption. So I made some memes and they were like, but you need to use Adobe Clean. And I said, oh God. And that's another thing they do is they just use it on everything because they just do. And it sucks. It sucked the life out of me trying to design with that thing. It is not a nice font to use. It's not fun. It is not fun at all.
That's atrocious.
Yeah.
Netflix, on the other hand, I think that's a decent font.
Yeah, it's got a bit of bite to it.
I'm fond of it.
Yeah. That's definitely
I
the
like
bolder
it.
weight. Once again, I couldn't find all the book weights of these fonts, so this one's a little bit bolder, but you can kind of get an idea
like
of it
it.
a little bit lighter, and it's still
The
got
T.
the winning factors.
T is nice.
T is nice. I like the L, just a clean rectangle. No need for a little hook at the
Can't go
bottom.
wrong.
You literally can't go wrong. And the A is clean too. The A is very Helvetica. I think.
Yeah.
It's nice.
S.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The N is
No
a little. The
complaints
little
there.
lowercase N is a little. I don't know if it's the compression or anything, but it's like the way the N and the S work together. I like that a lot for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
There are some fonts that remind me of it. It's a little bit off in a way. I don't know what it is, but I like that.
It's nice.
It's cute. Winner, easy win,
Movement.
easiest win of the day.
I like it.
All right. Well, now we're up to the quarterfinals, and we can blitz through these.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
The main part's done. Work sans Poppins. Oh, sorry. I'm messing with something on my end. Ignore that.
I'm leaning work sans just because I like the utilitarian aspect of it.
Yeah. I feel the same.
But I don't know. I feel like I like it more.
Yeah. Which is all we're looking for in this at the end of the day.
What do I like?
I
Yeah.
agree. I think the A and I would use work sans, I think, if I was a corporate graphic designer. That's what I think
That
that's
A
it.
is
That's
so
what I'm waiting for.
fun.
Yeah, so fun. A little bit
Yeah,
tighter kerning and
I
you're
agree.
good. Done. Oh,
Yeah. Or if you do it like in all caps and then like spread your kerning out to
Yeah.
like 200.
yeah.
I'd like that.
It's nice.
I've been fucking with some wider kerning lately.
I've been doing a similar thing. Wider kerning, wider leading, and it kind of I get it. I do
Yeah.
get it.
I get it.
I used to be someone who
get
would
it.
just put everything as tight as possible, and now I'm like, let's
Everything has to touch.
give it a little bit of room to breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when it's done well, it's done very well. TikTok Sans versus San Francisco. TikTok versus
Ooh.
Apple.
Two divos.
Yes. I think I'm leaning toward, I mean, it's hard because San Francisco, I think I personally prefer, but I think that's just because it looks more like
It's a heavier
something that
weight.
I would use. Helvetica, it's a bit of a heavier weight. It's almost Noya Montreal Penguin with a circular tittle. And it just works well with the brand. Like, I get it. TikTok Sans is definitely feels a bit more corporate, whereas San Francisco is more like,
That's an any man's font.
yeah. I'm probably going to lean towards San Francisco, though. I do think Apple nailed it with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the TikTok one, but I think, yeah, go
Why do
for
I
it.
keep doing it? What is
hard.
lock mean? Figma? What does lock mean? Eh?
Yeah, I have the same question for Adobe. If I lock a layer and I click on it after I've locked, don't show me a dialog box that says locked. I know.
It's like, hey, did you know?
Just simply leave it there because I locked it.
I posted
And I'm trying to move other stuff around it.
on my story being annoyed about how Premiere Pro you can't add a stroke to assets. Someone said, don't worry, Elliot.
Oh, so
I
annoying.
have a solution for you. Add 4 drop shadows to each corner of it in 4 different directions. And I went, are these the lengths that we're going to? 4 drop shadows.
Yes, because
Oh,
instead Adobe
God.
decided they're like, what if you need to generate an extra 1.2 seconds of footage? That's
can
what
fake
we
it.
decided to put our efforts into instead of maybe adding a stroke option.
How
to an
the
asset.
hell is there not a stroke option? Just a simple pixels, 2 pixel stroke. Why? I rotated all these assets and then I was like, I can't add a stroke to this. And I just screenshotted these artboards, put them into Illustrator, made rectangles, exported all of the rectangles as little transport strokes and just laid them at the top. And I just said, Elliot, do it. You have to do it. You just suck it
Gotta do
up.
Power through.
Out there. Inter versus Proxima Nova.
Ooh, this is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Especially because we don't have
Okay.
much of Inter to go off. which is
I'm
a
looking at the
tech
R
issue.
here
Yeah.
because that's the only shared character that we have. I think.
Awfully similar.
Damn. I feel like I could go either way on this.
I look at Inter, and all those letters make so much sense next to each other, in my opinion.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and again, maybe it's just that gorgeous purple that you selected.
That's true.
I don't know. I say go. Let's do Inter.
Let's go Inter versus work sans.
Let's get a little freaky.
Good combo. It is the future. These Inter and work sans, I think, are the where it's leaning towards. Sans serifs at least. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Google Sans versus Netflix Sans. Two awfully compressed screenshots of some fonts that I found.
Okay. I'm leaning Google.
Yeah.
Just because I love that G so much.
They did so well.
And usually
on that, yeah.
Gs are my ops. Like the Gotham G, if I can refer back to the Gotham G, meet me at back.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hate it so much.
That's bizarre. That is a bizarre choice. God.
I love just the air in the Google Sans font. Like and the S is so good.
It's pretty
But
unreal.
then I look at the Netflix.
Netflix is nice, but it kind of looks like it doesn't have too much. I was surprised personally when they released Netflix Sans. I didn't think it aligned very well with like that logo that they have. It doesn't match it very well, I don't think. It was confusing. I thought a condensed font made so much more sense considering
their logo.
their logo. But then they changed the logo, right, just to just the N. I don't know how it worked. But yeah, just a bit of an interesting choice. I think Netflix Sans could kind of be like a modern pizza restaurant started by a YouTuber or something. Like a Dobrik's. It's YouTuber food font. That's what it feels to me. YouTuber food.
What's Mr. Beast's candy bar?
Feastables. Oh god.
Feastables.
Yeah, free promo for him.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Indie YouTuber Mr. Beast.
Huge kelliot fan.
Huge.
I think Google Sans, I reckon has got a real nice quirk to it that when they launched it with Google, I was like, that makes sense for you guys. I get that.
Likely thing for you guys to do, actually.
Okay.
I like how we've paired ones that look
Sure.
they're like twins.
Yeah.
But they look different. Like they're identical twins, but they look different.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, these came out at the same time.
For sure.
Damn.
I think this is tough. Because
this is really tough.
They are the same.
I wasn't thinking about this as we were going. Like,
you know what? For this part,
it
might be worth pulling up like a lorem ipsum of each.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I think it's time. Just to have a general look. I mean, how do I even do that though? I just searched up into lorem ipsum, like on Google Images.
Yeah, that's
like that would work.
Meet the Ipsums. Did you guys ever use Meet the Ipsums?
Meet the Ipsums? What is that?
Age myself.
Oh, okay. It's
just dummy copy. It's like you can generate Ipsum copy, but it would be like themed, so you could get like cat Ipsum or you can get like coffee Ipsum or something. So you just weren't using lorem ipsum for everything, but you could have other Ipsum for filler that was maybe themed. So it looked insane, I guess.
Yeah.
But it would be like themed. But yeah, it's called Meet the Ipsums.
Meet the Ipsums.
And I used it a lot when I was in college.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still around. Are they still around?
Okay, I have some examples here. I have some examples that can be used.
Yes, Meet the Ipsums is still very much around.
I do feel like I've used it before. All right. If you go to the...
They have cheeseburger Ipsum.
Cheese... Like I has cheeseburger?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. If you
So what do I?
me after this, I has cheeseburger.
I has cheese.
We have an example of inter and an example of work sans here.
Okay.
Straight away, I'm backing enter now that I see it in full.
Okay. Wait. Who's who?
So the top is inter and the bottom is
Inter.
work sans.
Ooh, I see what you mean.
Bold.
Oh.
Really nice.
Oh.
Really nice.
Oh, but that lighter weight?
Yeah.
This miniature cats? Oh. That italic too.
Yeah.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I fear I like Inter more than I thought.
I feel like I don't like work sans at all now that I see it in the way it's been presented. It's kind of making me sad.
Now it's kind of pissing me off.
Yeah, right? I'm like, what?
Work sans. You cheated your way through.
Truly.
Okay. I like how it looks in all caps next, or like the title casing next to each other. I like how that looks,
Yeah.
but I don't like it when it actually turns into words, which I feel like is a pretty big part.
It is a big,
Of a
it's a
font.
big part of it.
one could say.
I'd say 99.9% of the time it will do that. It should do that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rock with Inter here.
I think so. And it's not a fair comparison, everyone. Obviously, we should probably should have done a little Lorem Ipsum thing, but it's too late now. And
Wait, you
fate
got
is. Let's be honest. Inter is honestly just better. I think that's like a unanimous.
I think so.
Everyone will kind of.
And maybe
agree
it
on
just looks nice with those letters and on the yellow.
that. Yeah. Yep. See the bias towards the nice color.
Yeah.
San Francisco and Google Sans. There's not many images online of this, so we can compare these. I think there's enough difference between the two.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at the A's. I like the San Francisco A more.
Really, the Google Sans A's got so much character to it, though.
I know. It is a very Elliot A.
It's like,
Yeah, it's got like a cute little belly.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like goofy.
It's fun. Google Sans I love the lowercase G so much of Google Sans. I think it's such a clean looking lowercase G.
Oh, beautiful. The artifacts on this are killing me.
Yeah, it's all, yeah.
It looks like it's like shaking or something. Yeah. But what I don't like about San Francisco is the tittle being so small. I wish it were a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's I agree.
I don't know. I think overall, what Google Sans brings to the table is more interesting.
I back that.
Versus San Francisco looks so much like Helvetica. I just feel like Google Sans is, if we're going, what's the best corporate font? This feels extraordinarily corporate.
And it stands out still a little bit more. Yeah.
Interesting, but not interesting in the way that Adobe Clean is interesting. Adobe Clean is interesting derogatory.
Yeah.
It's like an kind of interest versus this is kind of
Yeah. It's like, a little bit of character to it, which is why YouTube Sans is so confusing to me because it loses so much of that intrigue. But yeah, I think
because it feels like Adobe Clean in a weird way.
Yeah.
In my mind. But I think it's because that T is cut off and it does like a similar thing that the Adobe Clean does, where it's just like you're removing unnecessary parts of the letter in an attempt to make it look interesting, and you're just making it look bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are you unlocking the thing and not telling me? How do I keep unlocking this thing?
That would be a psychotic thing for me to do.
Once again,
no,
I swear to God, I locked it. I swear I'm
not even
lock.
touching.
I am pressing lock.
Mouse.
It is now locked. Move one other thing. Okay. It just it magically unlocks itself apparently. All right. Figma.
I think it's a skill issue on your part.
Fair
a moral
enough.
failing on your part, possibly.
Completely valid.
Completely valid. I do fear if we look back at our specimen of Miss Inter.
Yeah. Which I think is a advantage on Inter's, that we do have that specimen as an offering.
Yeah.
But I think Google has money behind it. Inter is Inter's family business.
When I see a graphic spelt with a K and I type specimen, I'm like, I'll spend $100 on that. I don't know what's wrong. I'm like, graphic spelt with a K?
Yes. Graphic design. When I see business toy, I don't know, Zenith Zone. What are these words? Miniature cats. Reset month. Minute 360. Frame
I quite like
group.
it.
Yeah, I think I feel like it is is it the Figma font? It's a UI. It's made for UI. It's really nice. Inter is really, really nice. I'm glad people use Inter. That's what else. I'm glad. I think it looks good.
I mean, on Figma has 24 best fonts for websites, and number 1 they have Inter.
I think it is. Yeah, I think they kind of introduced it.
Introduced it. It doesn't make any sense, Kelly. I fear Inter is going to wipe the floor here, even though I do like Google Sans a lot.
We can't deny Inter's greatness.
Yeah, I fear.
I back it.
And
God, does it look good in that little violet background?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Inter, congratulations. That's our winner. Wow.
I'm really okay with that.
Oh, me too.
I'm really okay with that.
100%.
As a good middle ground of our Kulvetica and Moonflower, this is one that we can agree on.
Yeah, I don't think I would have picked it from the start. Yet,
me neither.
It just makes a lot of there's something about it. It's pretty perfect.
It's pretty good.
It's hard to tell. I don't have many faults with it at all.
No, I mean, looking again at the specimen, I'm not seeing a character that's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And usually I'm looking for something that'll piss me off.
It's harmless.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's bothering me. It's really quite lovely.
I'm such a fan of the slight the slight code look. That really appeals to me. The little geometric elements to it. I'm a big fan of that. Rather than I think the Montserrats, the Gothams, all that style. They're leaning into Century Gothic. They're leaning into more, I don't know, it's just
Century Gothic isn't on this list.
Yeah, we'll do that in the default, the Windows default and Apple default font list. That'd be fun. Windows versus Apple, left and right.
I know if we do enough of these, then we can make the ultimate tier list of the winners of every single.
We have to do 16 of these. We can do that.
I can do that. We can do that very easily.
Yeah. Once a month.
I'm okay with this. I like this as a winner. Work Sans is still calling out to me, and I'm not happy about how much it's still calling out to me after seeing its specimen.
Maybe it's because the kerning. It is the wider kerning has helped it, I would say. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. Fraud, Work Sans.
Absolutely fraudulent. Well, everyone, now you know. That's the that's the battle, and now you know which corporate font we think is the best.
Enter. Back to our lovely friends at Figma.
Yeah, thank you, Figma. Cool.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
Well. I think
guys,
that's ideal.
Let us know if you agree.
Yeah, we'll put it to a poll again. Because you guys were pissed off about the last one.
Hey, my moonflower stands, they rose.
I can't believe Moonflower rose to the top air. Moonflower just stood oh no, we split it. Yeah, that's right. We didn't have
we split it.
What did I say?
It's because of the cultural impact.
Coolvetica was
the cultural
personal.
impact of Moonflower can't be denied.
Yeah.
It's really important to recognize her contributions to society and to the culture.
I still back that Coolvetica is the most default font there is, based on the parody nature to it though. And I'll die on that hill for the rest of my days.
And that's your cross you have to bear.
You'll find me 6 feet under in that bloody hill.
I know. I'll be at your funeral and it says Elliot's funeral.
It's all in Coolvetica.
the little flyer they'll give out to you at the door.
And you're like, really? Everyone's like, really?
Cool,
Really?
of course. A sponsored flyer, obviously. Sponsored by Figma.
Stills.
Guys, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our song of the week, and then we go to our bonus episode.
Hey.
Do you have your song of the week, my dear?
I do, actually. I do. It is a song called Que Pasa / Me No Pop I by Koti Mundi. It is a hilarious song. It is a long song again. I think this is 3 weeks in a row of 6-minute plus songs. Sue me, I don't care. And this one, I listened to it once and I immediately put it into my I Love You Forever song playlist, which is all my favorite songs of all time. And I still love it. It's like it's a genre of music, I forgot what the word is, where there's like made up English in it. Like it's using English as a catchy words for the sake of like appealing to a. Because I remember there was like this one Italian song, I think. The entire song was in English, but it was all gibberish. But because it was English words, people liked it more and thought it was like a catchy pop song. But no one knew it was. It doesn't actually mean anything. Like they're just English words.
I
but
love
they don't
that.
actually mean anything. And this has got like little elements of that, which are really fun. And it kind of goes crazy. So that's my song of the week.
Bangs.
Absolutely.
I will listen to it. My song of the week is Only Living Girl in LA by Halsey. I am finally coming around to Halsey.
Oh.
Years late to the game.
Yeah.
But I really like her new album. And I think the branding of it is divine.
Yeah.
Done by Garrett Hilliker. So that is my song. Oh. Also a 6-minute song. Great opening track of an album.
Kelliot fans, you've got 12 minutes worth of music to listen to now to distract you from the world.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, too easy then. And the font of the week is Inter, if anyone's wondering. Ha! We have fun.
Is it on Adobe fonts? Like, can people actually like?
It is. That is typed by hand. I typed all the fonts on the left. I typed by hand because they're all on Adobe fonts.
Wow.
Which is wild. They used to not be. There were a lot of Google fonts. I think all of Google fonts moved to Adobe fonts. I think. Because it says by Google, most of them. Like Gotham was by Google. Which I don't think is true.
Interesting how that shakes down.
Someone should sue. Well, thanks everyone for checking us out. Make sure to head on over to the Patreon for our bonus episode to see what the fuck we talk about after talking about fonts for 1 hour and a half.
The most boring fonts, one could say.
Oh yeah.
Arguably.
Oh yeah. That's one cool decorative like new form typefault, oh no type code font, anything would win in a heartbeat against it. It's so fun. Like you could easily just find one to like destroy these. But remember the criteria, everyone. It's all about the criteria.
We should do most hated fonts.
Yeah, that's fun.
And it's just like Ekman's like.
Yeah. Ones that are like considered overused and ruined industries. Shout out to Ekman Psych.
Shout out to Ekman Psych. I love you.
Not James's fault for the impact it had on the world.
No, it's not his fault. His contributions to society at large are a far net positive outweigh any negative impact Ekman Psych could have ever caused.
He should absolutely be on.
He would love to get on the pod.
I think he's mentioned it. I swear.
I think he has also mentioned it.
Yeah, we should make that
happen. Diva. Yeah. I adore him. Anyway, guys, head over to patreon.com/kelliot where you can get a bonus episode every other week. Good stuff over there. You're going to want to come hear us ramble even more for our Unmeta Kelliot section of our podcast.
That's where real friends are made.
That's all.
Good stuff. See you guys.
Bye, guys. See you next week or over on Patreon.
See you there. Bye.